Welcome to another edition of Travelstart's FAQ Friday with me, Nick Paul. This week we're attempting to answer the question, if the fuel price is dropping, why aren't ticket prices? This is a question which many travel agents and travellers alike have been asking recently, and for good reason too. The price of oil is now below $80 per barrel and the price of jet fuel has dropped 20% in the last year, yet ticket prices don't seem to be too different to what they were a year ago. Local travel industry magazine TNW published an article about this recently, so here's a quick summary of what they found. Firstly, it's important to clarify that airlines charge travellers for fuel through the use of a fuel surcharge. This is something we covered in a previous video. In short, most airlines charge this and add it in US dollars to the taxes of a ticket. This is what often makes the taxes more expensive than the fare. The fuel surcharge, though, is not technically the price of the fuel for your seat on your flight. It's more of a hedging fund to help the airline buffer against future steep fuel price increases by gathering the cash in advance to purchase the fuel. Some airlines buy fuel months, even years in advance. Well, imagine you as an airline sell a ticket to a customer when oil is just $80 per barrel. That customer is traveling in 9 months' time. 3 months after they purchase a ticket, a major war breaks out in the Middle East, cutting oil supply to the rest of the world. By the time they travel, oil is $120 per barrel. That's a 50% increase in fuel price for the airline, and they don't get that money back. Unfortunately though, for both the customer and the airline, if the airline purchased the fuel before a big drop in price, they can't get their money back. The airline then continues to sell their tickets at the old higher price to recoup the costs from what they spent on fuel earlier. So in fact, many airlines who bought fuel long in advance will have been caught out, and airlines with a less long-term strategy can quickly jump in with lower ticket prices and steal their business. If the airline buys fuel before the price spikes, they win. If they buy it before a drop in price, they lose. A final factor in South Africa is the weakening of the rand against the dollar and the dollar's strengthening against many major currencies the world over in the last year. The dollar is almost 20% stronger against the rand than it was a year ago, which cancels out the progress made in fuel price decreases almost exactly. Add to this that many services the airlines pay for are in dollars, it becomes obvious why the costs don't drop too much. There is good news on the horizon though. IATA, the International Air Transport Association, based on its data and research, predicts that fuel surcharges will begin dropping in the short term. So, with any luck, we'll see cheap prices in 2015. Bring it on.